So we'll just look into yesterday's topic. There was some confusion for some of the student at least. I don't know whether you listened to the class later, but at least for some people who refer, there was a little confusion. I just want to clear that. So yesterday's topic, that is, you had derived the first scattering matrix coefficients S11, S12, S21, S22. So you'll be writing the equation for B1 as S11 A1 plus S12 A2, sorry, A2, and B2 as S21 A1 plus S22 A2. Now, there is a confusion that Sij. Sij represents, what does Sij represent? What does Sij represent?
Scattering coefficient.
Scattering coefficient, where your reflection coefficient, that is I, will be due to the source connected at the ith line, and your J will be the reflection, which will be for the jth line. When you're writing this one, don't get confused with S11, S12, S21, S22 coefficients. You have written for first one, that is S11, as B1 by A1 when your condition applied A2 is equal to 0, which means that the B1 equation which you take, you are applying A2 0 here. If you apply A2 0, remaining will be what? B11, B1 is equal to S11 A1. So which means that remaining equation, if I write for S11, it is B1 by A1. So you're not writing the equation with respect to the definition of Sij. You'll be writing the equation with respect to these two equations. So this will be your reflected, this will be your incident, which is nothing but your reflection coefficient. Similarly, if you write for the next one, that is S12, where A1 will be equal to 0. So S12 will be equal to B1 by A2. So here it will be B1 divided by A2. Similarly, when you take for BS21, it is, if you are applying A2 as 0, so it will be B2 by A1. Similarly, for S22, it is, when A1 you are applying 0, it is B2 by A2. So this confusion I just wanted to clear to everybody. So don't confuse with Sij, because this will represent your incoming, that is input power applied. This is the output power which is applied. So according to this, if you write, you are writing it as Bi by Aj. So there is a confusion with this. So don't compare with this equation. You are writing from these equation, applying the match termination condition, A2 is equal to 0 and A1 is equal to 0. I hope it is clear. Okay. So moving on to properties of the S matrix. So you have an important topic to remember or to study, which is called as symmetrical Z and Y matrices for reciprocal network. Again, this is important. So you need to prove that the Z and Y, as well as the power across the networks, reciprocal network, they are symmetrical. So to prove that, first, you have to consider, we know that in a reciprocal network, usually when we consider impedance and the admittance, these matrices are symmetrical, because y is equal, z is equal to 1 by y, or if you consider y is equal to 1 by z. So the admittance and the impedance relationship are symmetrical. And to categorize this, you go for the scalar quantities, which is nothing but your mu and epsilon naught for writing the values. So for a multi-port network, which is nothing but when I say multi-port, it is a n-port network. You have to assume now, say the amplitude of the incoming wave, that is amplitude of the incident wave, let it be Vn plus, and similarly amplitude of the reflected wave, let it be Vn minus. So total voltage Vn will be equal to Vn plus incident plus your reflected Vn minus, such that we are assuming the total voltage which we take across the n-port network is 0. Say n is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3 until n, except the ith port or the jth port, where the electric field of ith port will be EI, magnetic field of the ith port is HI. I'll repeat it once again. You're considering the multi-port network or a n-port network. For a multi-port network, consider the amplitude of the incident wave as Vn plus, amplitude of the reflected wave as Vn minus. Total voltage Vn is nothing but sum of incident voltage plus your reflected voltage. So assume your total voltage across the circuit what you take, which is equal to 0. When you assume total voltage across the circuit as 0, except since we are measuring for ith port and jth port, the electric field except there, the voltage of or the voltage, total voltage across the ith port, except that voltage, rest all the voltages consider it as 0, or else you will have many number of terms to consider starting from n is equal to 1 to n. So EI across the electric field, across the port, electric field EI and the magnetic field HI. Similarly, again, let Vn is equal to 0 for all the port except the jth port which you'll be considering, where the electric field across the port, that is EJ, for jth port, magnetic field will be HJ. Now for this, you are applying a theorem called as Lorentz reciprocity theorem. Now what is Lorentz reciprocity theorem is? So when you consider the electric field and magnetic field, that is Lorentz reciprocity theorem. So Lorentz reciprocity theorem says that when you have a closed surface, say the closed surface BS, area of the conducting walls enclosing the junction and n port in the absence of any source, the closed surface what you take, the integral of the closed surface over a perfect conducting what material, you have only the non-zero element existing or non-zero integral existing with respect to your reference plane corresponding to your ith and jth port. Now, if you consider according to the theorem says that you have a perfect conducting wall which will vanish and only your non-zero integral term will be existing. Now you have non-zero integral.
Can you repeat it, ma'am?
Yeah. According to Lorentz, see first you will be considering voltage which are 0 for all the cases n is equal to 0 to n, except ith port where you have electric and magnetic field EI and HI. Similarly, for jth port, you'll also be considering EJ and HJ. Now, according to Lorentz reciprocity theorem, it says that when you consider a closed integral surface or integral over a perfecting conducting surfaces, the only non-zero integral in the reference plane exists. So, which are the non-zero planes which you are taking here? One is EI and HI, one more is EJ and HJ, comparing to your two terms, because rest all voltages across the port are 0, except your ith port and jth port, rest all will be 0. You have to consider only the non-zero integral. So when you consider the non-zero integral, you will be writing the equation in terms of EI and HI, EJ and HI. So I'll clear the screen.
1 minute, ma'am.
Okay. I'll write the equation for Lorentz reciprocity. Don't write this. Done?
Yes, ma'am.
So from the Lorentz reciprocity theorem, if you are writing the equation for closed surface integral, so which will be integral of the closed surface, you have non-zero element, that is EI cross HJ, because you know electric and magnetic field are perpendicular to each other. When you have ith port, you will have jth port. So minus EJ cross HI into, that is dot ds, with respect to closed surface is equal to 0. The integral over the closed surface, the only non-zero integral are those which are taken over the reference planes of the corresponding path. So now if you write the equation considering the equations of your ith port and jth port with respect to time, suppose you know n is equal to 1 to n, which you have considered as 0. With respect to the time, say it is Tn for this particular value, you have Ei cross Hj minus Ej cross Hi dot ds is equal to 0. All Vn except you know that is Vi and Vj are existing, rest all are 0. So if I write the same thing with respect to time, instead of Tn, it will be Ti for ith port, which is Ei cross Hj dot ds, because only two terms, so I can multiply your dot ds, minus integral, one more term which is remaining is Tj, that is Ej cross Hi dot ds, which is equal to 0. Or if I write it, Ei cross Hj dot ds, which is equal to Tj Ej cross Hi dot ds. This is one equation what you get. Now tell me, what is Poynting theorem? Any idea what is Poynting theorem?
No, ma'am.
At least you have heard of it, Poynting theorem.
No.
Yes, ma'am.
You
Yes,
had
ma'am.
an electromagnetic theory, I guess.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay,
Previous.
last semester we didn't study.
Sorry?
I didn't study.
Okay, you did not study. Fine. Now, when I say Poynting theorem is usually with respect to conservation of energy for an electromagnetic field, where you will be writing, or when I say the theorem which usually balances your energy, so it is rate of energy transfer from a region of space equal to rate of work done with respect to energy this is. Whereas when we write for the electric and magnetic field, the equation or the theory of your Poynting theorem says that for a closed surface, your E cross H is equal to 0. So this is what your Poynting theorem says. When you go for in terms of your electric and magnetic field, so the Poynting vector or the Poynting theorem says that the electric, the cross field or the electric and magnetic field, that is E cross over a closed surface integral, is equal to 0. So if you are considering that particular equation and comparing with your previous equation, that is Lorentz equation, so how can I write for the Lorentz equation? You have Lorentz equation in the form of Ei cross Hj dot ds. Similarly, you have the other side, it is Ej cross Hi dot ds. So how can we relate it? So one power is with respect to Pij, Poynting theorem, which is nothing but P here. Whereas the other term which you have, it is with respect to Ji, correct? This whole equation is nothing but a Poynting theorem. Now, Ei and Hj are the terms which I have represented in terms of Poynting theorem as Pij, which is also equal to, it is first term is J, second term is I. So you have Pij. Is that okay? Fine. I'll explain you once again. So this is your Lorentz equation, closed surface integral. You are considering non-zero elements. Because non-zero elements, you have taken only an ith and jth port. Rest all ports starting from 1 to n, you have considered the voltage as 0. So the ith port and the jth port, what you have, Ei cross Hj minus Ej cross Hi dot ds is equal to 0. Here, all the terms will go to 0. So rest of the remaining terms are with respect to I and with respect to J. So bring this to the other side. We know pointing theorem is nothing but closed surface integral of E cross H dot ds is equal to 0, or P is equal to E cross, or don't consider 0, just write the equation of the pointing theorem, that is E cross H dot ds. So your equation for Ei cross Hj will be Pij. Similarly, Ej cross Hi, it will be Pji. Now for this, you have to write the equation in terms of voltage and current. So I'll clear the screen. So you have the first term, that is Pij, which is equal to Pji. Now this Pij represents the power at reference plane I. This is reference plane I due to an input voltage at J. Similarly, Pji will represent the power at the reference plane J due to an input voltage at plane J. Now, if you write for current, you know I is equal to V by Z if I consider impedance, or it is V into Y with respect to admittance. Similarly, if I write for power, power is equal to V into I, one equation. If I substitute, say this as one equation, this as 2, and this as 3. If I substitute 2 and 3, the equation will be power is equal to V into, instead of I, it will be V into Y. Now this parameter you have to substitute in, or this relation you have to use it here. So you have two equation with respect to Ij. If I write the same equation for power, this will be one term for Vi, another term for Vj, whereas Y will be same for admittance Vij. Or if I write for Pji, it is Vj, Vi, the admittance what you have is Yji. So Vj and Vj, Vi and Vi will get cancelled. You will be left out with Yij is equal to Yji, or in terms of admittance, Yi impedance, it is Yij is Zij is equal to Zji. So you can see here Yij is also equal to Yji, or Zij is equal to Zji, which means that if you have Z12, this is also equal to Z21, or if you have Y12, this is also equal to Y21. So this is a reciprocal network symmetricity. You are writing the pointing theorem equation for Lorentz equation from that relation. Then write the current in terms of voltage and impedance or admittance. So it is V into Y. Similarly, we know power is equal to V into I. Substitute your current equation to power. Power is equal to V. We will usually write it as V square Y. But since you have I and J term here, so each voltage, each port will take voltages, because we know that only till Vn port it is 0. Ith port and jth port voltages are not 0. So Vi into Vj Yij is equal to Vj into Vi into Yji. Both voltages will get cancelled. You will be left out with Yij is equal to Yji. Or if you write for admittance, impedance, it is Zij is equal to Zji. So this proves that impedance and admittance matrices are symmetrical for a reciprocal junction. Is that clear? No response.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'll clear the screen. Now coming to next topic, you have properties of S matrix. Again, this is also important. Properties of S parameters. You have to study around 4 properties of S parameters. So if you consider the first property says that zero diagonal elements for perfect matched network. Zero diagonal elements for perfect matched network. Now consider you have an n-port network. For a n-port network with matched terminations, that means you will have the match termination for a 2-port network. Either it is matched with similarly how we have taken for A2 is equal to 0 or A1 is equal to 0. You're matching the terminations. So when you match the termination, the term which is the scattering coefficients which is having the form SII, that will be equal to 0. Because for a match termination, there will be no reflections. So the elements what you have with respect to SII will be equal to 0, which means that the 0 diagonal elements under this condition, the diagonal elements are 0. Because if I consider your 2-port network, S11, S12, S21, and S22. Suppose if this is a matched network, perfect matched network, the theorem says that, or the property says that, the form that is scattering parameter having SII is equal to 0, which means the diagonal elements will take the form S11 will be 0, S12 will be there, S21 will be there, S22 will be there. So the 0 diagonal elements for perfect matched network, or under this condition, the diagonal elements of a S matrix are 0. So which is the first property. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Coming to the second property. So I hope you have taken it down. The second property what you have, that is symmetry of S matrix for a reciprocal network. Symmetry of matrix S for a reciprocal network. That means a reciprocal device, now you have a derivation to prove this, each of the property. Now here the reciprocal device will have the same transmission characteristics in either of your direction. For pair of how many pair of ports you consider, and it will be characterized by a symmetry. Now scattering matrix, what you have to prove in this is, if you have a term Sij, this is also equal to Sij, where I is not equal to j. So which results that in terms of matrix, S matrix is also equal to S transpose. So T means it is transpose. If you write in terms of matrix, you'll be writing it like this. If you just write in terms of scattering coefficients, it will be like this. Now you have to prove the property that the symmetricity for Sij will be equal to Sji, or matrix S is equal to S transpose. Well, prove it. So for proving it, first consider, let your I is equal to incident and voltages that is reflected, as well as incident, let it be A and B. Similarly, for current and voltages I'll be writing. The current matrix is equal to, this is incident minus reflected, or in terms of voltage. If I write in terms of voltage, it is incident plus your reflected. Now, two equations we will be considering. Now, for this equation, if you are writing the voltage, or if you are writing in terms of admittance, V is equal to I into R. I will write in terms of admittance, V is equal to I into Z. Now, substitute these equations. Suppose if I take this as 1 and 2, substitute this here. So, the equation will be matrix A plus matrix B, which is equal to matrix A minus matrix B, which is multiplied with Z. I want everybody to write down it. First, write down the property, that is symmetry of S matrix for a reciprocal network. Write down Sij is equal to Sji, where I is not equal to J. And you have, or it can be represented in terms of matrix as matrix S is equal to transpose of matrix S. Now, to prove that, you will be considering the steady state voltage as well as current with respect to ith port. So, there your A will represent incident voltage at the ith port. B will represent reflected voltage from the ith port. Z will represent the characteristic impedance. Now, considering this, write the first equation, V is equal to I into Z. Substitute those A plus B, which is equal to A plus A minus B into the Z, into Z. So, clear the screen. Now, for that equation, you have to simplify it now. To simplify that, first, if I write down the first equation, A plus B is equal to matrix Z, matrix A minus matrix B. Now, multiply Z to each of the term. So, you will have matrix Z into matrix A minus matrix Z into matrix B. Bring terms together. One A term you bring together, other B terms you put it to right hand side. So, the equations which will be here, it is matrix Z into matrix A. I'll bring A to this side. Similarly, matrix B plus matrix Z into matrix B. From here, take out B matrix outside. So, you'll have matrix Z plus, it is actually 1. How do you represent 1 in a matrix? Or what is 1 called in a matrix? No idea. Okay.
Identity.
Yeah, it is identity. It is also called as unity matrix. So you'll represent 1 as unity matrix. So it is U. So just replace wherever you have 1 as matrix Z plus matrix U, which is also equal to matrix A, matrix Z minus matrix U. Now from here, write for B. So if you write for matrix B, the matrix B equation will be matrix Z minus matrix U into matrix A divided by matrix Z plus matrix U. Or if I bring the denominator to the numerator, you can also write this equation as matrix Z minus matrix U, which is into matrix A. Again, matrix Z plus matrix U to the power inverse, since I'm bringing the numerator to denominator. Now make this equation as, I think it is 3 or 4, okay, where U will be your unit matrix. Any confusion till here in writing the equations? It is just multiplication. Bring the same terms to one side, B term, A term. From that, replace 1 with U, which is unity matrix. Then write the equation for B, bring the numerator to denominator to numerator, which is inverse. Now, S matrix representation, next step will be, you know, S matrix equation for a network. What is S matrix representation for a network in general? In terms of matrix, if you remember B1, B2, which is equal to S11 A1 plus S12 A2. Similarly, S21 A1, S22 A2. If I write in general in matrix term, how do I write it? Left hand side is B term, so I'll write it as B. S will be the matrix, which is S
Into A.
into A. So this is the general equation of S matrix for a network. So consider this as equation 4. Now compare these two equations. While comparing, you can write the equation. So if you compare 3 and 4, both the equations, I can write this equation as matrix S into matrix A, which is also equal to matrix Z minus matrix U into matrix A, again matrix Z plus matrix U inverse. So here A matrix and A matrix will get cancelled. So you'll be left out with S matrix, which will give you the form, the remaining form. So just clear this. I hope the left hand side is okay. Clear this. So you will be left out with a matrix that is S matrix, which will be the remaining equation. S matrix is equal to Z matrix minus U matrix into Z matrix plus U matrix inverse. Now consider, for simplification purpose, let matrix Z minus matrix U is equal to matrix R, or just R. Then matrix Z plus matrix U as your matrix Q. Suppose if I consider this as fifth equation, substitute these parameters in the sixth equation, you will have S matrix is equal to R matrix, because Z minus U I'll be considering it as R, and Z plus U I'll be considering it as Q. So this will be Q inverse. Let this equation be 6. Now you know that for a reciprocal network, the Z matrix is symmetric. Hence, R and Q also should be symmetric. So the previous topic which we have seen, for a reciprocal network, any reciprocal network if you consider, the Z matrix is symmetric. So since your Z matrix is symmetric, this R matrix also will be symmetric, for Q matrix will also be symmetric, because you're considering a reciprocal network here also. So both the parameters, that is R and Q, will be symmetric. So how will be, if both R and Q are symmetric, how will you write the equations? The symmetric equation. For Z you had written, there were two terms, Zij is equal to Zji. Here you have matrix. So how can you write the symmetric for a matrix?
Transpose.
R and Q is also equal to Q into R. Both matrix, R and Q matrix, if you have, this is also equal to Q into R. This is what a symmetric is. Now for this, what you're doing is, you are pre and post multiplying or post multiply on both sides by Q transpose or Q inverse. So you get this equation compare this, you get S matrix. For this S matrix, consider Z minus U as R, Z plus U as Q. So S will be equal to R matrix, Q matrix inverse. Reciprocal network, we know the property Z is always symmetric. So here also R and Q will be symmetric, which I can write it as R into Q is nothing but Q into R. For this equation, pre and post multiply. That means what does pre and post multiply mean? Suppose you consider left hand equation. To this pre and post multiply Q inverse means what does it mean? Pre multiply is you are multiplying before the term. So this is if you multiply this Q inverse 2 before the R matrix, that is pre multiply. If you multiply Q inverse after Q, that is post multiply. So pre and post multiply on both sides with Q inverse. Delete this, clear this right hand side. So you can multiply both the sides, pre and post multiply with Q inverse. So the equation will be pre multiply, that is Q inverse, along with your R matrix, along with your Q matrix. Again, you have to post multiply Q inverse, which is also equal to the term. Again, here also you have to pre multiply with Q inverse into Q. Again, post multiply Q inverse on both the sides. Now you need to simplify this. Now, if you consider Q and Q inverse, what is the value?
1, ma'am.
This will go to 1, whole term, this term. Similarly, here also the whole term will go to 1. So you'll be left out with Q matrix inverse R, which is equal to R matrix into Q inverse. That is Q inverse R is equal to, what is R Q inverse? See equation number 6.
Matrix X.
It is matrix S. That is from equation 6. So now this is proved. That is R into Q inverse, which is also equal to S matrix. Q inverse into R, which is also equal to S matrix. Now S is proved. You have to prove S transpose. Till now it is clear for everybody? Now you need to prove the transpose part. S equation, matrix S equation is proved. Now consider the transpose of your matrix S. For considering the transpose S, that is, consider the transpose of matrix S, which is nothing but S transpose. That will be considered for your equation, the one which I have written here, this equation, equation number 5. To this equation, you are writing the transpose. What is transpose is, if I write for the same equation number 5, just a minute. Okay, sorry for the disturbance. So S transpose, if you consider for the same, it is nothing but you are writing it as inverse. For example, the first consideration, that is Z transpose, that is Z minus U. Along with this, it is one more, you have Z plus U inverse to the transpose. To whole equation, you are writing the transpose. Now, what does the transpose relation mean is, if you have AB transpose, this is an example for transpose. This AB transpose can be written as B transpose into A transpose. This is the property of a transpose relation. If you have both the matrix in a transpose, you can split it and write it as, or individually it will be B transpose into A transpose. So same property you have to now apply for this equation. Clear the screen? You people are understanding. If you don't understand, you ask me, I'll explain it once again. Okay. So if you write the equation for transpose, that is S transpose is equal to Z transpose minus or Z minus U matrix into Z plus U matrix inverse. So this whole equation will be written under transpose, where your AB transpose will be A transpose into B transpose. Same property will be applying it here. So which will give you the equation Z minus U transpose or Z plus U to the inverse transpose. Or if you're writing according to this, B transpose means this will be here. Just a minute. B transpose will be Z plus U inverse transpose. This will be Z minus U transpose. Now we know that Z matrix is symmetrical according to that reciprocal network property. So Z matrix will be symmetrical. If your Z matrix is symmetrical, which means that the Z transpose Z minus or Z plus U inverse transpose is also equal to the matrix Z plus U inverse. Well, this property will show the symmetricity. You have the first term Z plus U inverse transpose. Since it is symmetrical, your Z plus U inverse will also be equal to Z plus U inverse transpose. Or if you write for the first term, Z minus U, that is matrix Z minus matrix U, is also equal to matrix Z minus matrix U transpose. So you can substitute these two values or these two terms to the above equation, where the first term what you have, Z plus U inverse transpose, is also equal to Z matrix plus U inverse into, instead of this transpose, you can write it as Z minus U, matrix Z minus matrix U, which is also equal to, what is Z plus U consideration we have made, R or Q?
Q.
Q. So this will be Q transpose, Z minus U will be R. So you have this as S transpose, where S transpose is equal to Q transpose into R, or this is also equal to S. If you check the equation of S you have written, S is also equal to Q inverse transpose as well as R matrix, and this is also equal to matrix R into Q inverse. So from this equation, you're writing directly, that is Q inverse R is equal to S, which proves that S matrix is also equal to S transpose. Which also means that the terms Sij will also be equal to Sji of the S matrix, which are equal, and thus your S matrix will be the symmetric matrix.